Perfect. Hello.
Hi.
Brian King of Japandroids. One Japandroid.
Is this a video?
Duo. It is.
Oh wow, this makes the thing I'm doing even more ridiculous.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, hi.
Thank you so much for meeting with me on this lovely day.
No problem, yeah.
Welcome to Seattle again. We love you here. So, I just wanted to have a quick chat with you. You're here playing Bumbershoot 2010. And one of the things I love about Japandroids most is your live show.
Oh yeah?
You are very vigorous on stage.
Yeah, that's how I distract myself from there being people watching us. So it's like the more you thrash around, the less you actually have to stand there and look out at people. So the less kind of nervous you'll get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you eradicate all the nervousness and anxiety you have because you rock the freak out.
Thanks, yeah. We're going to be rocking out in a giant puddle tonight. Nevertheless, it's still going to be rock.
It's going to be even better than that. It's going to be amazing. So when you guys formed your band, did that have anything to do with like how you guys practice? Because I know that Japandroids is famous for how much you guys thrash on stage.
Well, in the old days, like our plan was, we always planned to have like kind of like a lead singer, and we kind of were trying to be sort of like a yeah yeah yeahs style band, not necessarily musically, but we wanted to have a drummer, Dave, a guitar player, myself, and then someone else who just sang. And we kind of always assumed that when we found that person, Dave and I could just kind of rock out in the background and kind of just like make a lot of noise and thrash about, and someone else would be singing and would kind of like divert attention away from us.
Okay.
But we never actually found that person, so we've just kind of done the two-person backing band rocking out sort of thing in front of everyone. Yeah.
Serves
so
you very
that's
well.
just kind of how it's been. So we started doing shows like that, always assuming that we would eventually find someone, and we just never did.
Well, I'm glad you
are.
never did, because the way you are right now is completely freaking awesome.
Oh, thanks a lot.
I never would guess you were shy from how charismatic you are with your audience.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
Very shy.
tell me a little bit about this single series. I guess you're midst releasing side A tracks that have already been released, and then previously unreleased side Bs.
Yeah, we had a bunch of songs kind of in the works when we recorded our album, and we were, due to financial and scheduling restrictions, we didn't have the time to sort of like record them all. And once we started touring like crazy, we realized that it was going to be quite a while till we were going to be able to put out another record, and we were kind of like, well, by the time we record another record, we're going to have all these new songs written, and we kind of thought these songs that didn't make our album would just sort of die and just kind of like be gone, and nothing would ever happen with them, because we kind of wanted to write like a new batch of songs for a new record kind of thing. And so putting out a single series was just kind of like a way to sort of like, one, it was a way to give people some new music by the band in between albums, which would have been like 2 years. And it was kind of one of those things where we were like, well, if we're going to come home for a week or so at a time in between tours, we could easily record a 7-inch single. So we just decided to take all these songs that we had left over, and every time we come home from tour, we'll just record one of those, and then we'll pick a cover that we like, a song we like, and we'll just put that on the B-side, and then we'll just put out all these singles over the course of 2010. And that way we have a record out in 2009, and then a bunch of singles out in 2010, and then a record out in 2011, and then it doesn't seem like we didn't do anything for a year.
Yeah,
so,
very nice.
Even though we're touring like crazy and we're playing a lot of shows, that for people who just listen to the bands, listen to the music and don't come to see us, it's a long time to wait between records. So
yeah, I heard a rumor that one's being released in the next couple days.
a rumor?
Yes.
Outrageous.
Well, because
You were probably talking to Dave. Yeah. Well, there's we've released 2 already, and the third one is going to come out on Wednesday. So today is Monday. So yeah, on Wednesday I think we'll announce it, and then it'll come out as soon as possible. So
okay, great.
And then the other ones are either we're recording either when we get home from this tour, or they're partially recorded, and and they'll all be out kind of before the end of the year. So
Segue, you just had this tour, so I know you're going on tour with the Walkmen coming up.
we are.
How freaking exciting is that?
Very.
I love the Walkmen. They're playing with Showbox on the 8th. You're not playing with them that day though, are you?
Because we're playing Bumbershoot. So Bumbershoot, when you play Bumbershoot, they ban you from playing anywhere else in Seattle, plus or minus about a month or two.
Wow.
Yeah. That's the tough thing about playing Seattle is we always seem to play festivals when we play Seattle. So we played Sasquatch a couple months ago, and then we played Capitol Hill Block Party last year, and we played at the KEXP Barbecue last year, and we just always seem to come here and play festivals, and the festivals always say, you know, no playing any other shows in Seattle around this time, so we never get to actually just come and play Seattle, whereas, you know.
I saw you at the Chop Suey though that one.
Oh, you were at that show. Yeah, that was the only show really we've ever played since anyone's. We played tons of shows in Seattle, but not since anyone's ever.
Yeah.
We played a lot of shows to no one back in the day. But that that show Chop Suey was the only show we've got to play. It's our own show, so yeah. That's Dave for viewers at home who are wondering why this interview was interrupted.
Hi, Dave.
Crazy kid.
So I just want to ask a little bit about the Post Nothing tour, like the title of that. Is that kind of a nod to all the post genres that are out there, like post rock, post punk?
Yeah, I mean, like when we were, this all started like when we first kind of started the band. We just kind of, we didn't have a record label or anything, and we were just on our own and putting out our own records, and we were trying to get people to kind of pay attention, and we would press these CDs and stuff like that and send them to people, and they would always say like, you guys are amateurs, you don't you know that like when you send this stuff out you need to have like a write-up about the band and a picture of the band and stuff like this, and we were kind of like, actually we didn't know that. And so like we started thinking like, well, we have to write about the band. Like we started reading other bands kind of like bios and stuff like that about them to try and like get an idea of like how we write one of these for our band. And they're all so bad and so cheesy and so ridiculous, and like we just felt like idiots sort of like writing, you know, those kind of things about our own band, you know, like we're this brand new music genre that is, you know, so, you know, cutting edge and like we're but at the same time we're a mixture of these like 5 classic kind of like rock or punk bands, and it's like we didn't want to write anything about that about ourselves, so we just kind of to use a British expression, we just took the piss out of the whole thing, and we were just like, you know, yeah, we're post nothing and blah 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 blah, and the kind of name just sort of stuck with us. Like it's kind of the way we always refer to ourselves.
I love it.
Yeah.
Tell me one thing about the new record that you like.
I think at this point we've finally figured out what works for our band, and we've kind of embraced it. And so like after, you know, it took a long time to figure out, like as a 2-piece band with only guitar and only drums and 2 people who didn't really want to sing, it took a long time to figure out like, you know, what we should really be and what we should really do and how we should really sound. And I think we've finally kind of figured out what works for the band, and this will be the first time that we've actually like wrote some songs that kind of embrace that and kind of really go for it. I mean, Post Nothing was sort of a freak accident, if you will, because we just kind of like, we were winging it, and it just happened to like just resonate with a bunch of people that heard it, and it was totally by accident. Like we had no idea what we were doing, and so I think we feel this is the first time we've ever gone into, we'll go into like make something that we where we kind of like at least feel like we sort of know what we're doing or what we should do. So
well, I'm very excited to hear it. Thank you so much, Stevie King of the Japandroids here on SeattleShowGals.com.